Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wyoming Knits YouTube channel. My name is Jenny Lee and this is my channel where I like to talk about all the knitting I've done over the past week, all the patterns I want to knit, and all the yarn I want to knit with. Today is Sunday, July 20th, 2025, and this is episode 99. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. I also have a Ravelry group for the Wyoming Knits YouTube channel. It is the Wyoming Knits podcast. I am hosting a cal over there. It is a scrappy cal. It's a year-long cal. I have 3 categories: a scrappy accessories, scrappy sweaters, and scrappy blankets. So if you head over to Ravelry and check that out, you can get some more information. Today I have 1 finished object and 6 works in progress that we're going to talk about. But first, I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie Dax. Today, for finished objects, it is what I am wearing. I am wearing the Salty Air tee by Samantha Guerin, and I used Yarn Cafe Creations. This is the tag, the color Caterpillar, and it has tweed and sparkle. I will pop in a picture right here of the whole thing. I have any extra? Where did I put that? Oh, I already put it in my bucket for my memory blanket. So maybe I can the lace pattern, you can see the tweed bits, you can see the sparkle just a little. This is short sleeve. I think I could have went down a size. There is quite a bit of positive ease, but I do not like negative ease on my biceps. I have knit a couple sweaters that are really tight on my biceps, and I do not like that. I like to have some room to move around, but I think this one has enough positive ease that I could have went down a size. I am wearing, let's see, I'm wearing a camisole underneath this because the lace there you go. My belly button's about right here. Right here's the top. This is a tie for my pants. I'm wearing some linen pants today. So it comes down to the bottom of my hips, and I think I'm going to love it. My arms do get a little chilly if there's some air blowing around. Let's put this back straight. There we go. But I love this. I love this color. I love the sparkle. I love the tweed. And I think I'm going to get quite a few wears out of this when I go back to school the end of August. I'll be able to wear this into September, and then I will need some longer sleeves to cover my arms after that. So that was my only finished object this week, and I have 7 works in progress that I want to share with you. One one of them is also an acquisition. So let's get into works in progress. So the first thing I have, I showed this last week. I have my String of Lights sock. This is living in my 4th of July bag that I got from Happy Mermaid Yarn Co. a few years ago. It had a red, white, and blue sock set that came with it. I don't think they have this print anymore, but they do have a few bags in their shop. I will link their Etsy shop in the description box below. I will link shops to where I bought yarn. Some of the yarn may or may not be available still, depending on the dyer. Sometimes it's we only dyed this year. Sometimes it's something that they keep in their shop all the time. So this is Gem State yarn in the color Celebration. It is a 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. It's got all these bright neon colors with white background and a black speckle. Ooh! Dropped it. So here is the sock. Last time I was right here. I had a few more rows to get to the heel. I like to put stitch markers every 10 rounds until I get to where I want to put in my heel, and then I put in a different color. So I know that that's on the second sock. I know that that's where I want to start my heel. I was right here last time. This is the String of Lights pattern. I think in the pattern it calls for a different cuff. I like a 2x2 ribbed cuff, so that's how I start most of my socks. I cast on 64 stitches with a German twisted cast on my 9-inch circular needles. I did 20 rounds in 2x2. Then I switched to the String of Lights pattern. I did the pattern. It's a 2-row repeat, so I did 10. Nope. But this is where this was my last row of my cuff. So I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 rounds for the leg. Then I did a slip stitch heel flap. I am through the gusset decreases, and I am ready to finish the foot and then switch to magic loop for the toe. I do my heel on 9-inch circulars. The first couple of times you do it, it's a little fiddly, but after you do it a few times, I don't know. I don't like to stop and change my needles, so it just is easier just to do it on the 9-inch circulars. I like the 9-inch circulars because I can just knit all the way around and I don't have to stop, readjust my needles like you do on Magic Loop, or readjust like DPNs. Sometimes I will pull out my, I think they're Addy Flexi Flips to do the toe. It's 3 needles and it's a cross between Magic Loop and DPNs. So that is this sock. I do like the String of Lights. It just gives it like this line that gives it a little more, and then it's still a little ribbed, so it's still stretchy. I would recommend this one for a sock for anyone, men, women, children. Sometimes when I do socks for men, I go up to a 72 stitch count. But I have one more sock. I have this in a Mountain State Stitches bag. It looked like she had a shop update. Her Etsy shop will be linked below. I love this bag. I just put it on my arm and I can hold it and feed the yarn out and just knit. It fits just right on my arm. And then it's got the little drawstring for when you're done. This yarn is a, oh, I don't have the ball band. It is a purple with some speckles. This is a Lambwoman knits. Let me see if I have. This is her tag. I think she has stopped dyeing yarn, and so whatever is left in her Etsy shop is what she has, and she is trying to sell out. So I think all that's left in there is like mystery minis and maybe a Valentine mini set with a whole bunch of like red and pinks. So this is, I think this 50 gram is what this one looked like before I caked it up. I think. And I started a sock for one of the secretaries at our school. And I also did the string of lights pattern on this one. I started with a 64 stitch German twisted cast on 2x2 rib for 20 rounds, and then I've done 10, 20, 30, 40, and I'm going to do 70 rounds for the leg. I just go back and forth between 60 and 70 rounds depending on how long I want to knit the leg. Sometimes I just want to be done and knit the heel. So it's got all those beautiful speckles. I thought there was going to be a lot more white in here, and there really isn't. So this is also the string of lights. I put in a stitch marker for the beginning of round and a stitch marker halfway through so I can mark the front and the back, so when I get to my heel I know where the back is. But I think she's really gonna love these. She's commented on how good I am at knitting, so I thought it would be nice to make her a pair of socks. So those are the only two socks I'm working on right now. I have a couple more yarns, a couple more balls of yarn caked up, ready to start some as soon as I finish these. Then the next thing I worked on this week, I am using Momma Jess Knits. This is her color shades of purple. It's kind of showing a little more blue on screen and blowing out a little. I think that's a little more true to color. I am on my second cake, and I worked a little bit on this a couple days ago. Last time I talked about how there was a spot. Yeah, if I can't find it now. There was a spot where I had messed up the pattern, and I kept thinking, do I want to rip that back? Do I want to go back and fix it? Am I going to be happy if I don't fix it? Okay, I found it. So it's that far back. Do I want to rip back and fix it? Right. See, you can't even hardly, okay, right here you can see I have 3 knit columns where this was supposed to be something like that. And it goes all the way across. It's kind of mid back, so it would be right here. Is that going to bug me? Every time I pick it up, it takes me a while to find it. So, and even now I lost it again. Oh, I found it. Do I want to rip it back? That's a lot. It would be this much knitting. Or am I going to be okay with it? You can't really see it unless you're super, super close. So this one I've not wanted to pick it up. The name should have been up here the entire time. This is the Maema by Pip and Pin. So I think about working on this, and then I'm like, do I want to put more work into it if I'm going to rip it out? Am I going to rip it out? Am I going to, but it's so far back. If I rip back, am I going to be able to put all the stitches back on the needle the right way? I don't know. I really want to finish it, and I really want to have it, and I want to have it done before school starts. I'm debating whether or not I want to tink back. That's a lot of work though. And I think it blends in. I don't know. I have never been upset that I ripped back. I have been upset that I haven't ripped back. And that has deterred me from wearing some of the things that I've made. So let me know what you would do. Can you tell until I point it out? Right here. Can you tell? Will anyone notice? Nobody will know. Will I be happy? I don't know. Let me know what you would do in the comments. Would you rip back? Would you leave it? I don't know. I almost just want to leave it and then block it and see. But I would hate to not wear this because of that one row. I want to rip it back, but I don't. So let me know what you think. I do have one of these already. I don't think it's in here. That I knit in orange, and I love the way it fits. I love the way the drape, the fit of it, the everything. I want the sleeves to be a little bit longer, but when I knit it in three. I had three, I thought, of the same color, and it ended up being 3 different dye lots, and all 3 of them were at different saturations with different speckles, and you can tell where I switched yarn. So I don't wear it out in public as much as I would this. So I haven't been reaching for this as much, but I want to get it done. I want to wear it. This is living in my CCM Caffeinated Craft Momma bag. She has an Etsy shop, and I will link that down below. She also has a YouTube channel. I will link that also. So that's living in this bag, and I really want to work on it and get it finished, but I can't decide. It might go in timeout for a minute, but I want to have it done. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Then the next thing I worked on is in a Sassy Sacks. This is also a bag maker on Etsy. It is a really big sweater size bag. I have 1, 2, I think I have at least 4 or 5, is it 4 or 6? I don't remember how many of these I got. This is Blackbird Sycamore in her color Mocha Mars. This is a shop exclusive for the yarn and the tail. That is my local yarn store. It is about an hour away from me. So I have this, and I am holding it with Drops Kid Silk Mohair in the color Apple, and I am making the garden cardigan. So last time you saw it, I was working on the right front panel. It was right here. I said I thought I needed 1 or 2 more pattern repeats before I moved over to the second side, the left front. I needed 1 more purl row was all. So I did the purl row, picked up stitches over here, and this is kind of a neat way to do this. You pick up stitches here and you pick up stitches here, and it overlaps, and then it fits nicely and stays on your shoulders. So I connected the front and the back. I am using a size 6. I think the pattern says use between a size 4 and a size 6 to get gauge. And so I just chose a 6 and started going. I'm not sure. I think I am on gauge. But you've got these stockinette panels, and then this lace section. I have put in stitch markers to mark the lace repeat for myself. When I first started doing the lace repeat, I really needed that to keep all of that straight. About halfway through, I might not need them anymore, but I'm going to keep them just so if I get somewhere I can always double check. If I make a mistake, I'll know which section I made the mistake in. Haven't woven in any ends at all. But I love how this is turning out with that extra green halo from the yarn. I put in a stitch marker right here because you have to do so many repeats, and that helped me keep track of where to start counting. I could probably take those out now, but I love it. I think it says 13 to 16 inches. I don't remember how many inches after the underarm. You do double knit the edge. It just has you double knit like the first 3 stitches and then ribbing, and then you go into the pattern. Pretty easy to follow. I only made one mistake with the lace. I ripped it back out and fixed it. Talked about that last time. Because I got off on my counting while I did the short rows, and then my lace was not lining up. So I ripped that back and did it. To rip it back, I think it only took me about 20 minutes to get it back where it was. So that was worth it to me. I got fuzz in my mouth. I can feel it. I got it. So, loving this so far. The only thing, the purl rows are long. So you do the lace all the way down. So start right here, you do double knit, you do 1 by 1, then you do the lace pattern till you get to the other side. You do your 1 by 1 rib and the double knit, and then on the way back you purl every stitch on the way back. So if you don't like to purl, this would take a very long time. I love it. I love the pink and the green together with the light brown. Reminds me of a garden or apples, fall. So I love this. I have this much left of the first cake. This is my second cake of Mohair. I keep dropping everything. So I love it. Do a side by side so you can see the colors, how it just lightens up this a little bit. Then let's see, the next thing I worked on was my no frills sweater. This is a bag I got from the Yarn and the Tail for a last day. It is a Delaque bag. I'm pretty sure they have some more Delaque bags on their website. I'm not sure if this one is still available. I am also using Blackbird Sycamore for this one. This is the color Artifact. And I'm holding it with some Malibrigo Mohair in the color Whole Grain. I finished the body. I was right there last time. I finished the body, I did the ribbing. In the pattern it says to bind off in pattern, and I chose to bind off with a sewn bind off. I've heard this called a tubular bind off. I've heard it called the Italian sewn bind off. I think the tubular bind off, you do 2 setup rows before you sew it. The Italian one, you just sew it. I think I did the one where you just sew it. You don't do 2 setup rows. And I only used the main color to bind off. I did not use the mohair. I cut the mohair, then I bound off with just this held single. I did not hold these together because the mohair gets a little, I don't know, is it felted? So I only use the main color when I bind off, and you can't even tell. So if you are holding mohair with it and you're doing a sewn bind off and you don't want to hold the mohair while you sew it, just cut the mohair and then weave the mohair in and do your sewn bind off with the main color. You start out with your ribbed collar, you start the raglan increases, put your sleeves on hold, finish the body. When you go to measure, it has you measure from the back cast on edge to here, and it tells you the measurement for your size, and then you start the ribbing. Got mohair fluff all over me today. I did not think this was that long. I measured it. It's about 8 inches. From the underarm to the hem on this one, I did 12 inches. This is a almost 3-inch cuff. It's 7 centimeters, is that right? 2 3/4 inches. For the hem. You do some decreases before you start the hem. You do this for 2 3/4 inches. So from here to here, it was like 10, 11 inches. And I was like, is it going to be too short? After I already bound it off. So I tried it on with just the sleeve like this. And I tried it on and it was actually perfect. So I think the sleeve depth, like the raglan depth, is a lot longer than some of the other sweaters I've knit, and so she has you knit measure from the cast on edge to here to find when to stop. I kind of like that. It does take a little bit more, like you have to lay it out flat. With this I can usually just lay it on my leg and smooth it out flat. Excuse me. So when I tried it on, I love this. I love the speckles. I love the color. I love how it fit. With these, it was a little tight, but this is holding like all the stitches on here, and it is a little bunched up. So I started the first sleeve. I have done 2 decrease rounds, and I have my twice sheared sheep row counter on here. I'm all tangled. Ooh, very tangled. There we go. I have my row counter on here, and I put a one of their little markers on the row that I need to do my decreases, and then I make a chain of how many decreases I need to do, and then I just undo this one and put it on my next decrease, and then when I get to the end I know that's my last decrease, so I don't have to keep looking back in the pattern. So now I am all set up to do lots of knitting in the round. These are my ChowGoo 3-inch tips, and these little goats I thought matched the sweater. I got these in my twice shared sheep advent from last year. I think they do still have their advent boxes on sale. So I have not alternated skeins at all with this. I just have connected the next one when I run out. So I'm sure this one will be done next week because I only have 2 sleeves left and I'm done. The neckline's done, the bottom's done, just the 2 sleeves and I will be finished. I do love it so much. I love this color. Okay, let's put all this back. I have this much of the second ball, and then I have 1 more skein, and then I have 2 more skeins of mohair. I hope will get me through both sleeves because I have this much left. I think that should make it through both sleeves. This sweater, when I was finished, it was 210 grams. So if I would have made it cropped, I would have only needed 2 skeins of yarn, but I knew I wanted to make it a little bit longer, so I did order, or I did purchase the 3 skeins of yarn because I knew I wanted it longer. So that is this one, and that is all the garments I have. I do have my DK Jelly Roll blanket that I am using, Yarn Cafe Creations July countdown. I think it was a Pegasus pony this year. I got it on Sparkle Base. It's right here. I'll show you how I set it up this year. This is the bag that it came with, and then these are all the little packages of minis. I am a few days behind. I have not opened day 18 and today is day 20, so I have these 3 to open. I will open those and put them on my stories on Instagram when I'm ready to open them. I don't want to open them and get them mixed up because I'm putting these in order. The blanket is just living in a little basket tote. Can't remember where I got this. I think I might have got it at Hobby Lobby, maybe, or my mom got it for me a couple years ago, and she could have got it at the dollar store or Walmart or something. I am still working on this one. I'm doing the DK, but this is fingering weight, so I'm just holding both ends, pulling from the inside and the outside. This is a sparkle base. I got it on the silver stellina. And let's see. I was right here last time. So I did this whole column. Got all the way up to the top, bound off, and there was just a tiny bit left of that color. So I started the row with that, did 2 or 3 rows, added in the next color, and this is day 17. So I'll move I almost forgot to move my stitch marker last time. So we'll move this. And this is how wide it is so far. It is very stretchy. I think this is going to be such a nice blanket to curl up with on the couch, or put on me on my side of the bed. I'll have to take a picture of it all laid out so you can see. After I get a few more rows on it, I'll take a picture when it's all the way done. But I love it. I am doing the join that Kayla of the Crazy Sock Lady is doing on her Jelly Roll blanket. It is a little bit different than the pattern, but I think it makes these seams pop just a little bit more. So this is the front side, this is the back side, and I guess you could do either one, just depending on how you weave in your ends. So this could be the front if you wanted it to, but I like the little seams. And then I got my Knit Picks order, and I got some Brava Sport. I got one of these. I got 2 of these ones. This one is Solstice Heather. It's like a dark blue. This one is Almond. I think these were on sale for less than $4 a ball. I got 3 of these. This one is Denim. I got 4 of these. This one is Silver. The other one is Connected. And I got 3 of these ones. This one is Dove Heather. I started a blanket for my friend Megan. I started a miter square blanket that I am turning into let me find it. There we go. Jess, I think you're gonna love this. I'm going to make the mitered square blanket with just these colors. The outside I'm going to do in the gray, and then I got the dark blue and the light blue, and I thought Dove Heather for his beard, and I thought I ordered a white. Maybe I didn't. I betcha I can hold, I don't know. Maybe I will just do this and the little pom-pom in the gray, the Dove Heather. So I'm going to make that. And then each of those little squares will be a mitered square. And I'm going to do one extra row on each side, I think, because it is longer than it is wide. And I looked at blanket dimensions, and it's, if you go tall enough, it's not wide enough, so I might add some border color on this side. And then I did get my 2 extra aloft that I was like, what am I going to do with 4 of these? So now I have 6. That's 3 skeins. That'll equal the same yardage as 3 100 skeins of fingering weight yarn. I can get a sweater out of that. Right there with all my fluffy yarn. So that was my acquisitions. I said I was not going to order any more yarn, and when I saw that these were less than $3, less than $4, some of them were less than $3, some of them were less than $4, and I was like, I can get all of my yarn and make that blanket for, I think I paid $65 with the Mohair. So that is going to go into the blanket for her. I've had this graphic on my phone for a year and a half, 2 years, and I said, I'm gonna make you a blanket with, she loves gnomes, and so I told her I'd make her this blanket, and now I can finally start it. I wasn't gonna start anything new, but yesterday I was looking at my yarn and feeling like I had finished this. I wanted to start something, and so I was like, okay, let's start this blanket. So I did, let's see, I did this square right here 5 times, I think. I cast on, I'm using some DPNs I have. This is the size 4. On the ball band it says to use size US 3 to 5 on here. So I've looked at my DPNs. I don't have a 3, I have a 4 and a 5. So I grabbed the 4s and I cast on, I have hair in my eyelashes. I cast on and I did 20 by 20, and I got about halfway through the square and I measured from here to here, and it was going to be 3 inches, and I was like, ooh. So I did some math. I counted how many squares across it was going to be, times that by 3 inches, and it was going to be way too big. So I'm like, okay, we'll do 15. So I ripped back, I did 15, I measured it, and it was not quite 3 inches, it was 2 3/4. And I was like, still too big. So I did 10 by 10, and that was too small. So I did 12, and that was still too small. So I'm like, okay, we'll do 15. So I'm doing 15 by 15, and then when I got up to here, somehow I picked up the wrong edge, because this is the front, this is the back. I will go back and put a I-cord border along the edge. I think I'm going to leave this, and that will be my little mistake in the blanket. So I've got 4 squares done. I'm doing 15 by 15. I am following the same pattern I did for my memory blanket. I will link that. I just found it on a blog post, and it shows you how to do each square. You cast on 15, and then you put your stitch marker and you do 15 more, and then when you knit across the front, you get two stitches before the stitch marker, you knit 2 together, you slip the stitch marker, you knit, slip stitch, knit, and then go all the way down, and then you just knit all the way back, and then on the next row you just keep going and keep going until you get to the last 2 stitches. I put those on a stitch marker, and then that is where I pull my yarn through to pick up stitches. So then on this side you pick up 15 stitches, you put your stitch marker, you cast on 15 stitches for the bottom. When you have a square here and a square here, you just pick up 15, pick up 15. So I got her blanket started. I think there's 21 squares across, and I want to say 50 stitches high. Nope, 30 stitches tall, or 30 squares tall. So 21 across, 30 tall. I'm excited to do this. I was like, ooh, I could just do the mitered squares for that. I think this is a corner to corner crochet chart. So I will have this on my Ravelry page for the blanket. When I haven't actually started the page yet, the project page. So yeah, that was everything. Everything I wanted to talk about that I worked on today, or this week, not today. Only worked on my no frill sweater today. I bound off the bottom this morning and picked up the sleeve. That was all my acquisitions. I do want to start another sweater. I want to use my Sinful yarn with the sparkle tweed to start a sweater. I think I'm going to do the daily pullover. The pattern is cropped, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And then I have the Sparocco Remix Light that I want to do. Is it the Relax Tea by Amy Sher? I think I want to do that. And then I have this other Sinful yarn without the rainbow tweed. I think it's the same color. This is the DK base. And I think I want to do the Stick Season by Rebecca Clow in this one. So I want to start those. I also have the yarn for my Doppio that I want to start. My daughter asked me, Mom, when are you going to start my cardigan? And I said, sister, I got 4 cardigans on the needle right now. I got my garden cardigan, I got my Maema, I got my sea glass cardigan, and then I have another cardigan that I started, I want to say in November, but I think I want to rip it out. I think I want to frog it and just put it in a blanket, because I'm using my Tilt Torch Knit Advent from 2023, and I don't think I want an Advent sweater. I think I would enjoy it more in a blanket. I thought about doing the Pearl Soho half and half triangles wrap, because that's basically a blanket if you do the big size, and I could do that. Thought about doing the Lily scrap blanket, also the Stephen West Painting Waves blanket. So I don't know, I think I want to rip it out. I'll show you what it looks like. I have my yarn in here. It's in a Christmas bag because it's a Christmas Advent. And then I have the sleeve. I tried it on. I haven't woven like the ends yet. Right here's the underarm. Right here's my underarm. I don't think the sleeves are long enough. I don't know. I like how this is supposed to be the sleeve seam, and it's like clear out here. I love the colors. I do. But I don't know. It's got this cool ribbing along the bottom. It's got this faux seam. This is the Countdown Cardi by Skenanigans. So it's got like the deer or cat. I think I want to rip it out and put it into a blanket when it's got this cute slip stitch along the top of the shoulder. So I don't know. I think I want to rip it out. And these are the rest of the colors. Some oranges and pinks, some yellow. Yeah, it's not bringing me joy anymore. It was fun to like work on it and see the colors come together, but I really don't think that I'm gonna wear a rainbow fade sweater that often. So I think I would rather put it in a blanket that I could use. So I think I'm gonna rip that one out. So I have 4 cardigans on needles right now, and she wants me to start her Stria cardigan. And I'm like, okay, give me a little bit. I got something in my eyeball. So I want to finish some things before I start hers, but I'm really itching to start some new sweaters. So we'll see what I get up to next week. Let me know in the comments section if you think I'm going to cast on something new, if you think I'm going to just finish some things. I have some socks that I'm thinking about casting on. I might finish these other 2 first. Let me know what your favorite project was this time, what you're working on, and I will see you next week. Happy knitting!